Hello, welcome back to Ben Sushi Live Noding. So in the previous live noding, we now able to slice this a panorama using spherical add-on, and I'm thinking maybe we can do a little bit more with these slices. So I will be using animation nodes to do that. So let's try with importing the slices. So go to the desktop and get all the slices. We have around 30. I think it's all the total is 29, and just import them, and we should be getting something like this. And yeah, I'm just gonna group them, Control G, and I will be modifying their matrix or their transform using animation nodes. So it should be pretty fun. So animation nodes and create distributes matrices. So this by default will generate some kind of grid, and we're gonna get objects from group, which is our object, and then we have matrix output. So this is our objects, and this is our matrices. So by default, you will be getting this kind of grid. This is not what you want. We just want a simple grid. So usually it's a good idea to create a 3D viewer, and let's check it out. So we want to have like just a single row and 29 of this. All right, so we are getting somewhere. So that's this seems like my panorama, except that this seems to be flipped. So I'm just gonna use a negative value. There you go. That's my panorama of Sydney Darling Harbour. So let me save this. This is animation nodes, and this is a slices animation. All right, now we can hide our matrices viewer. Okay, so that's pretty cool. We can play around with it like that. We can also do kind of like a flip rotations, and that's actually pretty easy. We can simply use the matrix and matrix math. I think we have a lot of this to try. Normally I think I'll test it out like this. I'm not like 100% familiar with all these matrices transform. Sometimes it's like a kind of like guessing. Okay, so that's a flip. And the flip you can control with animations and do the offset, but I'm not gonna do that today. What we can do, however, we can maybe play around with the locations, kind of offset it. So let's see. Let's offset it using noise. This with this version of animation nodes, we get a lot of noise, like a lot of nodes that's dealing with noise. And I haven't tried all of them, but it's pretty cool. So let me check matrix offset. So this is also interesting if I just plug this over here and then just add some kind of fall off. This probably will kind of influence the position somehow. Oops, okay. So yeah, so that's really adding offset on top of our matrices. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't expect that. Definitely something to try. And well, maybe I'll just continue with the noise fall off since what we are doing is similar anyway. You can use vector noise and then kind of adding it, but we can use this Perlin and just play around with this the height, because we are only offsetting the Y, you see, and that's the offset, and then we kind of add a noise to affect the offset. Of course, fall off, there are heaps of fall off, including the wiggle fall off that I used in the past. Wiggle is some sort of noise as well, but noise fall off give you more options. And the nice thing about wiggle, of course, you have evolutions, and so frame goes into evolutions, and then you can have this really nice, interesting animation very quickly. So that's the amplitude. Increase the octave. Persistent is funny. Yeah, it's really add the life into our slices. So that's with a wiggle fall off. Let's go back to noise. Noise is really interesting. In fact, okay, we can. Oh, okay. Apparently, if we plug in frame into the offset, we can have this kind of effects, and we can use math float and multiply this. Really nice. It's like a very unusual. You might have seen this type of animation somewhere, but this is really powerful. And let's try simplex. Okay, simplex, kind of like wave. Perlin, we know Perlin. Value, what is value? It is also kind of like wave. Cubic, but I think normally interesting one is like cellular. Oh, look at this. Cellular has some kind of a very strong kind of like jagged thing. So that's a normal cell noise looks like. We have a lot here. Well, I maybe have to spend some time to test it out. White noise seems like simple, but I really like the cellular, and we can also modify in Y and Z using time. But so yeah, that's basically how you can kind of play around with the animations. There is another setup that I did earlier, this one, and look at this. This is kind of like a folding animations. Let me turn off the noise. So it's just like a folding animations. I'll tell you the secret, or maybe this is gonna be like a challenge. Basically, you are kind of zigzagging the rotations, and animate the rotations of all these slices, every single one, and then kind of do it all at the same time, so you have this like folding paper effects. It's kind of nice. Of course, they are all separate slices, but you can always combine them at any time. So Control J, oops, it's become like that, but you can always smooth it, and but maybe like remove doubles beforehand. So remove doubles. This is just a quick ideas. Maybe it can be improved. There you go. It's like a smooth kind of pattern. I don't know. It can be useful at some point, but just to let you know, share it, everything with you. Hopefully you find this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.